and welcome to your LSU football fix. My name is Preston Guy, staff writer at TigerBait.com. I'll be your host for the evening. There was some controversy, some debate as to whether or not I would be here, but I made it out here. As a lot of y'all who watch this show know, my wife was due for a baby yesterday. Much like LSU's offense this season, he has decided to get a slow start, and he will make his come eventually. He will turn the corner, just like the LSU offense. I also want to give a big shout out to my guy Blake Ruffino, who had a baby this morning, bright and early this morning, as our friend Glenn Gill says here, you let Blake beat you at the baby race. Yeah, that's right. Now Blake beat me to it. I'm so happy for him, man. Blake's a good friend of mine. I can't wait to let him do his baby reveal. Tonight's show is brought to you by Tramonte's Meat and Seafood. Remember, they are your tailgating and homegating headquarters for the 2022 season. They have ribeye rolls and 30 kinds of meat and sausage. They're located at the corner of Jefferson and Airline. Make sure to go give them a shout out. If you go there, make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. And if you do catering for them, if the order's $200 or more, you do get a $25 gift card. So don't forget to mention that when you're there. I'm going to be doing a lot of like Q&A stuff tonight. Admittedly, my wife has started early labor. So it was a bit of a sleepless night. It was a bit of a up in the air whether or not I could do the show tonight. I don't want to, miss more of these shows than I have to. And as anybody who's welcomed a baby to the world knows how that can extend long based on whatever is going on with your specific situation. So a little bit more Q&A stuff. LSU, of course, had a huge win over Ole Miss. I'm going to be bringing in Ben Mintz, who had this to say last week. Of course, he got the gig at Barstool, where he's become, a big influencer, lots of, comedy type routines there. He says LSU fans can go to hell for all he cares. Because there's the dual fanship going on there. He loved Ole Miss, but he came and did Louisiana radio for quite a while. And now he's telling LSU fans to go to hell. And LSU swiftly delivered a 25-point butt whooping in Death Valley. So I'm excited to ask him about that. All right, let's see here. It would have been something if both babies were born today. Delton Duce. So around 4 a.m., I thought it was coming today. Contractions were hitting us hard. We went to the doctor to do some tests. Without bogging y'all down with a lot of details, the doctor said, nah, you good, go home. And things kind of slowed down. So I'm hoping that doesn't pick right back up in the middle of the show. I told Mike already, I was like, she could give birth on air tonight. It'd probably make for some fun content for people. I'd probably owe my sponsors some sort of little payback or whatever. But it sure would be fun to see me storm off this set. Yes, Critter Gritter, first time. This is our first kid we're welcoming, so we're all very excited. I don't care what Mincy says. I love him. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, Mincy's a good guy. I'm gonna give him some hell for what he said. We're going to talk a little trash, but I do like Ben Mintz. And of course, here is Salt Ali. LSU is a hell of a team, no cap. I'm assuming you're a Florida fan based off your logo. Either that or, you like that Santa Ma alt logo. Yeah, LSU's got a very good team, y'all. And it is sad LSU lost to Florida State the way they did, because this could have a chance to be a special looking season considering what people thought. I mean, LSU at Vegas had them at 6.5 wins, y'all. They got 6 already. They would have already beaten that had they just made an extra point or not muffed 2 points against Florida State. It's very easy to see how they could have won. Let's see here. It's mighty quiet over here in Hotty Toddy country. Go Tigers! That's what 25 points of whooping will do, Glenn Gilho. Have the bags been packed? The bags are packed. They're in the car. The car seat is strapped in, buckled, ready to go. The nursery is built and ready to roll. The the thing that sits next to your bed, that's built sitting right next to our bed, waiting for a baby to put in it. Everything's ready to roll. We are so ready. He's not. He's vibing. He says, dude, in this economy, have you seen rent prices, education, healthcare? I said, yeah, man, look, I'm the one paying your healthcare right now. He says, nah, I'm good. I'm going to chill in this belly. I ain't got to pay for none of that. Let's see here. When the water breaks, Preston sets a new speed record. Go, Daddy Preston. Yeah, I'll be running out of here, especially if it's on the set of this show. I can't believe my dude Mintz is next. I told you so, victim on Preston's show. But well deserved. Yeah. I kind of like how the trend of my shows this year have been like enemy of the people. Whoever's pissed off LSU fans recently, they're on my show. But Ben Mintz, of course, I mean, with his comment, just the go to hell thing being like LSU fans say go to hell, Ole Miss. They say hotty toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we? You know, it's just kind of a loving affair. I don't think he really hates LSU, but we're going to have some fun with him on that take. Before we keep on going, appreciate all y'all's comments in here. I'm just going to take comments till I get in with him. I do have a little monologue, so to speak, prepared to talk to y'all about what this Alabama game means for LSU. Spoiler alert, it means a lot. And I think it's more winnable than a lot of people will give LSU credit for going into it. But till then, we'll go over some comments. But I do want to thank Tramonte for making this show and every show possible as our title sponsor of your LSU football fix. Y'all make sure to go give them a shout. Go check them out. The best meats and seafood around. I'm not kidding, guys. Anything you get there will be good. It's from a simple burger to the filet mignon to impress to one of these fine whiskeys available over here. They're all going to be really good stuff. Right now, they're featuring Blue Note, Woodford Reserve, Sazerac Rye, and Jefferson Pritchard Hill as their single barrel reserve whiskeys. Maybe some of you whiskey snobs know it a little better than I do, but they're all really good from all the whiskey guys that I know. So let's hear from Tramonte's, and I'll get right back into it.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
Thank you, Tramonte's. Gotta love that little commercial. Suzanne Tramonte does a good job narrating that little commercial. It's funny. You talk to her. She didn't really sound like that, but it's funny hearing her read that script. We enjoy your show, but family comes first. Hey, I appreciate it. Look, guys, make no mistake. If duty calls, I'm out you. I will leave this broadcast live on air, and we're done. We're done. Hopefully it gets me a viral clip or something. Local sports writer has to leave for hospital mid-broadcast. That'd be cool. Well prepared. You know it. Just like Brian Kelly has gotten his team well prepared as this season has moved on. That's what we aim for. All right, here's a good question. Crying Belly. Preston, who gets college game day? LSU, Bama, or Georgia, Tennessee? It's a very good question, Crying, because we all know that College Game Day is an ESPN show. They show an inherent bias toward their own programs and promoting that, right? Georgia, Tennessee is going to be the CBS one, right? I don't see any way they could convince themselves that that's the better game because you're going to have a top 4 matchup. Is there any chance that who does Georgia play this week? Let's look this up together, y'all. Georgia schedule. I mean, I know Bama's off, LSU's off, so there's no way that will be a top 15 matchup. All right. Georgia plays Florida this week. Okay. What about Tennessee schedule? I don't have the entire SEC schedule memorized on top when they play Kentucky. All right, so look, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. If either one of those teams loses either one of those games, game day's coming to Baton Rouge, I would say, because ESPN's got that bias. If that's a top 4 matchup, bets off. Bets off. They're going to Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, there ain't no way you're walking past a top 5 matchup. Are you crazy? By the way, that should be the number 1 and 2 team in the country. Fight me. There's no 2 teams with a better resume out there, and it's not really close. Sorry, Ohio State. Love you, but you're clearly the 3rd best team based on what you've accomplished. And at this point in the season, it should be mostly about what you've actually accomplished. We're coming up on November, y'all. For LSU is in November. So if either one of those teams loses, I do think they'll come to LSU Bama. I don't have any inside scoop. I don't have anybody I'm texting. I'm not like going to WAFB and what's up, guys? Y'all know what y'all's mother station gonna do? Huh? No, nothing like that. Which that doesn't even make sense because that's CBS. But anyways, no. I have a gut feeling that ESPN would want to bump their content, especially for 2 major brands like LSU Bama, and that will be a top 15 matchup. Let's see here. Carl the cat. Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, when is Ole Miss gonna beat somebody? We own Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is still gonna win 10 games. They don't play a very strong schedule down the stretch. The SEC West is turning out to be a lot weaker than we thought it would be, y'all. We thought the SEC West was going to be pretty darn strong. No, not really. It's all right. Let's see here. Good evening, everybody. That is Pooh Bear, Golden Boot Podcast. What's going on, man? Always nice to have you in here. All right. So, has Jimbo slowly morphed into Les Miles with his stubbornness on play calling? Chance, there's something about having an $85 million buyout that makes you much less incentivized to innovate, huh? I mean, yeah, that's absurd. I'll say this. Jimbo's kind of a lesson of not to extend your coach. Now, I get the initial contract to get him in the door, right? Coaches push for extensions using every excuse in the book to get themselves more guaranteed money, more time, all this good stuff. Jimbo wasn't walking because he went, 9-1 during the COVID year? He wasn't walking. He finished 5th in the regular season. So what? Don't commit yourself to $100 million guaranteed. Don't extend. Just keep him. He already had 10 years. There's no one negative recruiting your coach because he only has 6 or 7 years left on his contract, y'all. That's your lesson in play there, is until he wins the really big one or something much more significant than he's won at Texas A&M, don't commit. See, look, here's everybody chiming in to help me out. So Tennessee plays Kentucky. Yeah, I mean, look, Kentucky beats Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Tennessee will beat the dog out of Kentucky, and I think Georgia will beat the dog out of Florida. But if one of them pulls the upset, there you go. Game day is going. Not if one of them get upset. Hey, but surprise, I'm not picking either of those guys to upset. Am I a daddy yet? No, I'm not. That's why I'm here tonight. We kind of started some early labor, but we're not there yet. You rewatch the beginning of the show if you want to re-listen to my diatribe on that. I'm sure we'll get to some more comments about the baby, but it is what it is. Let's see here. October is for pretenders. November is for contenders. Yeah, that's what Brian Kelly said, and he's right. That's good. That means his mind's in the right spot, y'all. A lot of people. Yeah, no baby yet. No baby yet. We're working on it. I do think this will be my last time I show my face on this channel before I'm a parent. I think the next time I'm here, there will be a baby. Brian Kelly's birthday, also little baby Rufino's birthday today. Yeah, check this out. Mel Tucker. Man, Mel Tucker you realize like Mel Tucker got a deal comparable to Brian Kelly's. And so did James Franklin at Penn State. LSU was getting everybody paid last year. I'm not even sure LSU was actually interested in those dudes. LSU was getting everybody paid, man. I don't think those guys have as much guaranteed money. Brian Kelly's is 90% guaranteed. I still think he has the funniest clause in all of college football where if he wins a national championship and gets fired, all his money's guaranteed to him, which is funny because the last two coaches did that. You just got to be careful with these contracts, man. If you're offering these kind of contracts to guys, I get that the get them in the door contract. Hey, look, let's sign him to 10 years and we're just going to bank that after 5 years, we're in okay standing with him, because after 5 years, you're right where you would have started at with a standard, 5-year, whatever market value contract. Brian Kelly got $500K on Saturday. Good day at the office. Man, I would trade jobs with him in a heartbeat. While we're waiting on Ben Mintz to come in, for those of y'all who missed the intro, we have a lot more people in here now. I'm going to see if Ben Mintz is ready to atone for these comments he made telling LSU fans to go to hell after we made him. Okay, he was nobody. Just doing Louisiana radio. We all loved him. And then he goes on to Barstool and now got a big head on him. Big influencer up there in New York City. We'll have to talk to him. About it. But while I'm getting ready for him, I just want to recognize the gravity of LSU in this Bama game coming up. LSU, I liken this to Auburn 2014 going into Bama, where nobody really expected Auburn to beat Alabama until they got the kick six. And then when it happened, it became very real. But going into that game, Auburn, you're playing for everything. Everything. Guess what? LSU's playing for everything, y'all. And nobody really expects LSU to win. The caveat is you not only have to win here, but then you got to pull the upset in Atlanta, Georgia, in either a rematch against Tennessee, who blew you out, or Georgia, who looks Georgia looks better than Bama at this point, no doubt. I got Ben Mintz backstage. Looks like he's trying to get set up there, so I'm gonna give him a second to kind of get comfy. We're not in that much of a rush, so we shall see. But you're playing for the playoff. You're playing for the SEC West. You're playing for the SEC championship. You're also playing Jaden Daniels. Guys, I know 3 weeks ago, people were calling him, he's 8 of 20. He's a running back playing quarterback. He's no good. Put in Nussmeier. Guys, if he beats Alabama and he looks anything like he's looked the last 2 weeks, you understand, he's like one of your top Heisman contenders. Not saying he's number one. Hendon Hooker still probably has a firm hold on that for now. But he's going to be right there. All right, I got Ben backstage. We're going to hear from Tramonte's and we're going to go right into it.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
And here he is, Ben Mintz. Ben, what's up, man?
Oh, man, I got to be honest, man. I'm still recovering from the beating that was laid down in that second half. There might still be rebel bodies lying on that field. That second half was, man, I said a lot of good words for it from the Ole Miss side. None of them are good. That from when Jackson Dart threw that interception in the end zone in the third quarter when LSU was leading 24-20, I mean, it was like the dam broke after that. And Ole Miss's offensive line fell apart. And, wow, I just looked up and got steamrolled. But, as always, made the most of it, had a good time in Baton Rouge. Sat in the Ole Miss section that, thought Ole Miss, good chance. The record was a little inflated, but man, did not think they'd get beat like that, especially with the way the game started. Obviously, for me, the Ole Miss LSU will always be personal. I grew up, my dad went to LSU, my mom went to Ole Miss. I grew up in a house divided, obviously. Worked in Baton Rouge, so that's the game I want to win more than any other on the Ole Miss side, but certainly did not happen, and there's no excuses to be made. You got to give a ton of credit to LSU and Matt House especially. Thought the defensive adjustments in the second half. He did that to Mississippi State too, where he shut out Ole Miss and Mississippi State in the second half. And Harold Perkins, I thought, played unbelievable. And, you look at what's going on with the LSU offense and the emergence of Jaden Daniels and, seeing Keyshawn Butte stepping up as a leader on this team when all the problems that were going on with that beginning of the year. And I got a phone call from Joe Sloan, LSU's quarterbacks coach, about an hour after the game. I was like, man, that's a fast one. And he said, you knew you were going to hear from me after this one because what we just did to your boys. And I said, Coach, I can't really say that I blame you. You win like that, you get to talk noise. But he was saying what a joy it is, what a joy it's been to coach Jaden Daniels and how much he loves him. Obviously, everything that happened with the quarterback position, bringing in Jaden late, and Miles not playing, and, the way it started. And, he said he loves working with Brian Kelly, too. Just said the attention to detail. It's just phenomenal, which is really, you look at all the success LSU's had through the years. They hadn't had a coach with the attention to detail like this since Nick Saban. And, what do you say, man? LSU 90 points the last 2 weeks. And, Harold Perkins emerging on the defensive side. The way he looks, Lane Kiffin talked all about him after the game. He's like, what was the difference in the second half? He's like, well, they put 40 out there. And, it's just one of those deals where, I could sit here. There's no excuses you can make when you get beat like that. Just on the Ole Miss side of it, you're still 7-1 with a lot to play for, and you just got to get it together against Texas A&M this week. That's what it is.
So I like the strategy of leading off with a bunch of nice LSU words. Okay, so you talked about the split allegiances. Okay, then explain yourself, sir. Explain this after we made you. Okay, you were a lowly, unknown Baton Rouge talk radio host. Okay, you came from the gutters of Mississippi, not because there were specifically any gutters or downs of Mississippi, but because the entirety of Mississippi is a gutter. Okay, and you're talking trash to us like this, man. What's going on? We loved you. You were king of the South.
Look, I will always, and I'm sure this isn't the first time this is, I will always turn it up Ole Miss LSU week, no matter the sport. That one's personal to me. I always want to win that one more than any other. And then, I'm not, the rest of the year, I'm pretty chill. We'll always, Baton Rouge has been awesome to me. And, I have a lot of great relationships down there. But when it comes to Ole Miss LSU week, it's always going to get turned up. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I said a lot of things, and pretty much every one of them came back in my face. And, there's sometimes you got to eat it. Tiger droppings after me, T-Bob, everybody. But, it is what it is. I'll always turn it up for Ole Miss LSU, and everybody – part of it is the Ole Miss side of it. All my friends, everybody knows I'm Louisiana ties. But anyway, so Ole Miss LSU week's always going to be personal, and I hope we can be friends other than that. It is what it is.
All right. Who regretted it more? Did Ole Miss regret going to Death Valley, or did Ben Mintz regret talking trash more?
I think Ole Miss regretted going to Death Valley more.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly.
I work for Barstool Sports. I'm always going to talk some noise. That's part of the deal. We can't. I obviously have a million great relationships in Baton Rouge, and Baton Rouge has been unbelievable to me. And that quote kind of got taken a little out of context. I said that they conveniently deleted this week part. I said all LSU fans can go to hell this week, and I think people would have understood that's what I meant. I said for Ole Miss LSU. But of course, on Pick Central, that quote got taken out of context. And, when you get beat like Ole Miss did, you just got to eat it. And so, it is what it is. I still have a million great relationships, I hope, in Baton Rouge, and I hope I didn't ruin them last week. But if I did, it is what it is. We got the hell beaten out of us, and now we're all just licking wounds.
All right, I'll tell you this, okay? I'm gonna give you hell tonight, but based off, I've kind of made a trend this year of bringing all, like, you know, the least favorite person du jour on this show, and of the people I brought on, you're probably the one where it's the least, you know, the no love lost. You know, where a lot of people are like, that's bad. We still love them. But you know, I liked your evaluation of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's like I said, it's part of it is what it is. You know, when you look at the SEC, what makes LSU so unique and what it is, the fan vitriol is legendary. And I certainly felt like I felt a lot of it last week. And that's, you know, I mean, that's part of what makes LSU great. And it's just funny to be on the other side of it. And the stadium was interesting. Still about 80% of the LSU fans super nice to me. I definitely had some younger students walk by me, popping off at me, but I would expect nothing less. I deserved it. I certainly talked some noise as well.
Okay. So Ole Miss LSU week is over. Here's a repentance chance. Will you say, LSU, please don't go to hell anymore? For moving forward. Unhell LSU for me.
Okay, I'll unhell LSU for you. And I'll unhell it for 51 weeks a year. There is no hell to LSU. But that Ole Miss LSU week, you're going to.
So you root for LSU in baseball, football, track, gym, volleyball. You heard it right here, guys, on the LSU Football Fix. You just said it. You just said it.
Whatever. Putting words in my mouth. In all seriousness, look, I am from Louisiana, and I'll always, if it doesn't affect Ole Miss, I'm happy when LSU wins. If Ole Miss is like competing with LSU in the standings, then I want LSU to lose. You know, like if Ole Miss is still in it, but a lot of times, you know, that is what it is. But anyway, but thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, no. I'm just giving you hell here, man.
No,
look, evidence.
It ain't bother me, man. Look, I've taken, Lord knows.
Oh, I could only imagine.
My Twitter feed after that game. I had to literally just not look at my mentions. Like, I mean, it just got so bloody. But, you know, like I said, I mean, when you run your mouth like I did last week, then
yeah,
you know, you can't say that it's anybody's fault but mine. So.
You can't have 100K followers and work for Barstool and avoid that kind of stuff. Look, here's evidence to what I was saying. You're better than Driscoll. There you go. See, you're not as hated as some of the other people I'll bring on here. Let me bring Glenn Gilbo back on here. And, you know, it's funny. I get roasted by association for bringing guys on like that.
Well, yeah, I'm curious how it'll be in Baton Rouge because I'll always be coming through there, and I, you know, still have such a great relationship in Baton Rouge, and a lot of people. I feel like this will be one of those things that's hot, but then people in a week or two, everybody's going to care about beating Bama and not about talking smack to me. You know, it's like the cycle of sports.
Right. How were you feeling up 17-3? When did you know it was over? You like go to the game like as a fan, like you don't use your press pass or anything like that.
That's what Barstool is, man. It's about taking it to the people, you know. We're a unique, different brand of media. I love going to the game. I sit in the student section at Ole Miss at 39 years old. I don't care. You know, I'm just in there getting wild. So when did I know the game was over? It was over the second Jackson Dart threw that interception in the end zone when it was 24-20. Because it was 2017 at half. Ole Miss actually stopped LSU, and they got the ball first. And then Ole Miss had to punt. LSU scored. And I was like, okay, this is looking bad. And then Ole Miss on that second goal through that pick. And that was it. I mean, that was literally – and I don't think – even if Ole Miss scored there, they weren't winning. I'm not saying they were. LSU dominated. But, you know, it probably would have ended up something like 38-27 instead of 45-20. But, you know, maybe it'll be good for Ole Miss. They got beat that bad. It'll humble them. Who knows? It's a weird week at A&M this week for Ole Miss. Obviously, everybody knows what's going on with A&M. But having said all that, there's some tough stuff about this game for Ole Miss. The run defense could you know, it looks like a little bit of a problem. And then, you know, A&M defensive coordinator DJ Durkin was the Ole Miss's defensive coordinator the last 2 years. So you got to think he's going to have some plan ready for Ole Miss's offense. He's going to be very familiar with it, which is a little concerning.
Yeah, no doubt about all that. What I want to get on, you talked about Jaden Daniels and Joe Sloan calling you after the game, which, by the way, a little bit of a flex, pretty cool. You know, just casually, quarterback coach calls you after the game. But do you think Jaden Daniels, if he continues to perform the way he's performed, I mean, do you think a little bit of Heisman talk is unmerited, or is that a little premature?
Man, I think it's. I mean, if he beats Alabama, you know,
right. Context against Alabama.
He beats Alabama. And look, here's one thing that you got to talk about that's a big positive going into this Bama game for LSU. Through the years, the mobile quarterbacks have been what have beat Nick Saban. and you got one. You know, you look back, like that's been a problem for him through the years. And Daniels, you've got one. And the other thing I got to mention too, because I'm from Monroe, Will Campbell at left tackle. Holy crap, he was out that Tennessee game.
Boy.
That's a different offensive line against Florida and Ole Miss when he's out there. I mean, he was like a wall. He's 18 years old.
Yeah, he's built different.
I just feel like he did. The difference, you know, you saw what happened in the Tennessee game and how they've looked the last couple of weeks. I feel like, you know, obviously the whole offensive line deserves credit, but man, looked a lot different with him out there. But you know, if he beats Alabama, if LSU beats Alabama, yeah, I think Daniels is definitely in the conversation. I don't see how it couldn't be.
Well, let me say this. I tweeted out how the offensive line was having their best day of the game, and then they gave up back-to-back sacks. So I'm done saying nice things about this offensive line. I'm clearly jinxed. What isn't jinxed, though, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to one of our sponsors. We'll be right back with Ben Mintzy. Give a shout-out to Dead Soxy, who has these new awesome socks and a fancy graphic for us to present on the show for the first time. They've launched their new product line of purple and gold socks that we know you'll love. To find the purple and gold options, head over to deadsoxy.com, go to the team colorways under the collections tab on the website, sort by your favorite colors, and be sure to use the code TigerBait at checkout. No matter what the sale is, what the discount is, TigerBait will give you that discount. So make sure to go check out deadsoxy.com for these pretty cool socks. If I do say so myself, they're probably the best ones they put out in a good while. They've kind of ran out of some designs and restocked, and we're back ready to roll. All right, Ben. LSU's like minus 14.5 against Bama. Do you think LSU stands any chance? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big.
They got a chance. I mean, I definitely think you got a chance. Look at how Alabama's played on the road the last 2 years. I mean, going not even just this year. You saw the Texas game this year, Tennessee. Last year, they barely beat Dan Mullen's Florida early in the year. They lost to Texas A&M. I mean, they have, you know, at home, and they should have lost at Auburn, remember, in the Iron Bowl. They're not playing as well on the road. Like, at home they are. But hell yeah, she's got a chance, man. I think they definitely do. I mean, Bama's looked pretty beatable this year. They don't have those, you know, last few years, you know, whether it's Henry Ruggs or Devontae Smith or Waddle or Jerry Jeudy or Jameson Williams, they don't have those first-round receivers this year. I mean, yeah, they got some pretty good players, but they don't have those guys we've seen. And then the other thing, I mean, you saw what Tennessee did to their defense. I don't know. I mean, even the Texas A&M game, they only almost lost because Bryce Young was out, but they don't look near as dominant. I mean, I think LSU definitely has a chance at home. And then, you know, you also got to factor in, I mean, you got Brian Kelly's a hell, you know, you got a pretty good coach there. So 2 weeks getting ready. I mean, I think you definitely have a shot. I know Bama's coming off the bye too, but they don't look, I don't know. This team doesn't.
They don't look as crisp. Right? Well, in Mississippi State, they definitely, the defense showed out against Mississippi State. I mean, you know, they had a shutout until the final play of that game. I'm not taking LSU to win. I think LSU covers. I know a lot of times in this LSU-Bama game, LSU's gotten a lot of hype, and Saban just brought his absolute A game, looked like a slugger, and crushed LSU. I think LSU has a coach. I'm not going to say Brian Kelly's as good of a coach as Nick Saban. That's wild talk. Nobody's as good a coach as Nick Saban. But Brian Kelly's in that echelon, like really good coach, and I don't think LSU will look flat. I don't think they're going to do anything that is just embarrassing. I think that LSU will hold their own and give you something to be proud about. Here's a question for you, and I did have this on my list. Did you see Prez's pizza review?
Yes, I saw it. I did see it. I've never been on one of them, but, you know, I did. By the way, I want to say this. The Barstool, Dave and everybody had a huge time.
It looked like a great show.
They did the college football show at Fred's, but overall, I think they had a Barstool Sportsbook open at LeBare's Baton Rouge last Friday. That was a big event. Suppose that was successful, and then a huge time at Fred's. And I personally am looking forward to, in the future, I'm going to be hanging out at that Barstool Sportsbook a good bit. And so I'm really looking forward to doing some stuff there. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Red Zeppelin?
I have. It's pretty good. I actually ate.
Pretty good pizza, right?
Yeah, I actually was eating. I went through there. I think they had I ate there a couple of times when I was living down there in Baton Rouge in 2020.
Yeah, it's pretty good pizza. I'm curious to see what his review is. At TigerBait, me and Mike were big on like the Dave pizza reviews. Oh yeah. I'm curious. I'm hoping it gets into his nines, but we're of course going to
I
have
don't think
to
it'll
see.
get. Now I like Red Zeppelin, but 9. I mean, that's tough.
It's a good pizza.
No, it is. I think it could be a high 7. I'm going to say, I'm guessing like 7.7 or something.
Okay. But is this like insider information 7.7 or is this like?
Just, I know how hard. No, I just know how hard Dave's reviews are. I mean, the only ones that have gotten in the 9s are like the top places in the country. I think Red Zeppelin's very good. I'm definitely not like saying it isn't, but I mean, you're talking about like New York and New Haven.
Look, I did see him give a 10 out of 10 once though. Now,
it may have been a joke, yeah, because it was his own.
It was his own pizza, but you know, sometimes he's a softie when he wants to be.
Yeah, DeFaro got 9.4 in Brooklyn. It's a really famous place. A place I love in New York called John's on Bleecker Street. It's really famous. It got like a 9.3, and then Sally's Beats in New Haven has got something like that too. Those are the best ones. Ben,
6 o'clock in Tiger Stadium for Alabama. There was a lot of debate about whether CBS picks up the game in 2:30, and I do think that early kickoffs. Look, I think you're crazy if you think Saturday night in Death Valley isn't a game changer. Do you think that atmosphere will come into play?
Hell yeah, it's going to come into play. It's going to be nuts. What's been weird through the years, you mentioned it, it's like LSU's played a lot better at Alabama than they have in Baton Rouge.
Strange,
yeah. And it's made zero sense.
They haven't beaten Alabama at home since 2010.
Yeah, but they played but then even last year they almost won at Bama, you know? And even like some of their lesser teams that fought them there. So, but yeah, it's going to make a difference. Obviously, Bama having Bryce Young and all the experience he's got, it's kind of a calming thing for them. But, look, I think LSU's got – I think they have a legitimate shot. Like I said, having Daniel, the mobile quarterback threat, just how Bama should have lost the Texas game. They would have lost if Quinn Ewers to get hurt, and then they lost to Tennessee. Yeah. I don't know.
They're beatable. They're not Megatron this year. They're very good, and they're definitely going to be a contender down the road. If they win out and win the SEC championship, watch out. I mean, they're Bama. They're going to do damage, and there's someone to be reckoned with in the playoffs. But there's some kinks in the armor. It's not like they're this unbeatable juggernaut like we've seen a lot of times at certain years. Here's a good comment for you. It could be worse. I could have brought on Brandon Walker.
Oh, Brandon Walker, by the way, he shows up wearing a Fred's purple shirt to work today. He gives me so much crap because he knows I'm from Louisiana. He's like, "Oh, you're a closet LSU fan." He says that crap all the time to me. And I called him out today. I'm like, "Oh, I'm the closet LSU fan. You show up wearing purple today, huh, Brandon?" I was like, whatever, man. And also, while we're on it, too, I don't know if you saw the news. I signed a 3-year extension with Barstool.
I did see that. I saw that. Yeah, congrats, man.
Man, I can't, you're in media. You know how tough it is out here in media. I mean, this ain't no joke. And, I mean, I had a 1-year deal when I moved up there. It was like a prove-it deal. And then I got another 1-year deal after last year with like a small raise. And so, like, to get 3 years, I mean, this is the one I've been firing at. So, I know I sound weird thanking Baton Rouge after I talked smack last week, but obviously you're not wrong. Baton Rouge has been a huge part in this, and I wouldn't be here without ESPN Baton Rouge, that's for sure. Yeah,
no doubt, man. And look, I'm very happy for you on that. To keep this let's see if we can extend this contract next time. Maybe we'll get you like a 10-year, $90 million deal next time. Tell people where they can follow you and all that good stuff.
Man, Barstool Mitzi on Twitter and Instagram. Trying to get my TikTok going and failing, but I'm Barstool Mitzi on there too. I think I'm at about 1,200 followers. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. We're gonna try to build it here at some point. They've kind of, yeah, I'm on all 3 of those, and I know I'm gonna be at LeBears Lake Charles during the LSU Bama game. We got like an event there for that, but. I'll always be coming around Louisiana a good bit, and I'm, in New Orleans a lot too to support the Saints and Pelicans stuff. I hope to see. And then LSU Day, feel free to talk smack to me if you see me. I don't care. I deserve it. When you ask for the vitriol of the LSU fans, it's kind of I kind of dug my own grave on that, so I can take it.
Yeah, well, and admittedly, it was a little bit of a fake news quote to begin with. But,
of course. I said it this week because I think people realize, like, Ole Miss LSU. I mean. By the way, I've been to 21 of the last 24 Ole Miss LSU games going back to 2000. I mean, I try to make it every year. The only years I missed is 2011 when LSU kneeled with 4 minutes left. I knew that was
five and a half. with a
That
third
Ole
string
Miss team in
quarterback
2011,
on first down.
That's the worst team. That's the worst team in the history of the SEC. I don't even care. They're the worst I've ever seen. Then 2016, I was broke, and then 2019, I was at a cancer fundraiser with my buddy. That's the only 3 I've missed since the year 2000. So I gotta keep that streak as much as I can.
Got to keep that rocking and rolling. All right, Ben, it's been great to have you. Appreciate you for being a good sport and coming on the show tonight, man.
Thank you for having me. I'll take it easy.
That was Ben Mintz of BarstoolSports.com. Dane Bergeron, I appreciate the super chat. Hey, Preston, late to the show. Senator Kennedy was in town today. Baby must be a girl if it's making you wait. Hell no to Glenn Bowe. The baby will be a boy. Like LSU's offense. Okay. He is taking his time to turn the corner. Okay. And when he arrives, he's going to arrive in spectacular fashion. Okay. We did have a scare this morning, that he might have to get induced early. We were up at about 4 a.m. I didn't sleep last night. We were up all last night dealing with contractions and all that good stuff. Went to the doctor, got it checked out, and things kind of slowed down. So not today. We'll see when he comes, man. We'll just have to see. Let's see here. That's pretty cool. You got to meet a senator tonight. Let's see here. Oh, man, I should have asked him this. I'm sorry, Chance. God, Chance always asks some good questions up in here. I'll give you my opinion. I think it's pretty trashy that you don't even suspend him. I mean, you see it on video. He shoved a woman, like at least I mean, I understand fans are storming the field and there's an argument they don't belong there. But dude, don't shove someone on a public field. I mean, it's a kid having fun. I don't even care what was said, nothing. I mean, you gotta at least show that you care. Shame on you, Saban. Former LSU commit, by the way, Jermaine Burton. Let's see here. City Slice. I've never been to City Slice. I'm going to have to go check it out. I'm trying to think. What is it? Bistro Italia is another really good one. Y'all might roast me for this. I do like a lit pizza. Just that kind of general, like, build your own pizza. They have, like, another Beehive one that's basically the same thing. I like those. Let's see here. Mintz is dead to the... I think Mintz will recover. I think Mintz is going to be fine. While I get in, I'll continue to make this kind of Q&A. I'm going to thank our final sponsor. I'm going to thank Celebrity Theaters. Of course, guys, Celebrity Theaters is locally owned. They're Louisiana's only locally owned institution. That's why you're guaranteed to get a cleaner facility, better service, better prices with weekday specials like this, senior savings. They also run, I had to get that comment down. I'm sorry, y'all. They run this one, the game day special. So they actually host LSU watch parties in their theater every weekend, every Saturday. So if you don't have tickets to the LSU Bama game in 2 weeks, just go check out Celebrity Theaters, man. There's no better place to watch it. Elite sound system, game day specials. They do have drinks to drink if that's what you're into. Go check them out. They have 3 locations: Baton Rouge, Broussard, and Ruston. Let's see here. 14 wins in Alabama. 9 wins in Louisiana. Let's see, wait. LSU has beaten Bama. No, that can't be right, because then LSU would be 14-9 against Bama. I know they don't have a winning record. Someone see if you can Google this. It's too specific for me, but I do know that, like, the road team in the LSU Bama series has a losing record. I'm sorry, winning record. The away team wins something like 2 out of 3 times. It's ridiculously high in that series. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it. 17 in Alabama. Yeah, I don't know what Saban was watching. I think he was watching I think he was watching his wide receiver depth chart there. Hey, Preston, didn't you go to high school with Frank Bartley? He claims he doesn't know who you are. Yeah, Frank knows who I am. he was he was a very good basketball player. He was a couple years younger than me. So like he wasn't, like necessarily like on the field a bunch when I was playing with him, but I think he was like maybe a freshman or sophomore when I graduated. We actually lost all of our quarterbacks one week and had to plug him in at quarterback, and we got beat a lot. We were playing Notre Dame at Crowley, and we got beat by a lot. But you know what? Frank didn't get touched. Ain't nobody come on my side. I caught DJ Welter on a blind side that game. DJ Welter was really fast, y'all. I will admit this. People talk about SEC speed. Okay, let's just put it in perspective. DJ Welter was known for being very slow in the SEC. Okay, I couldn't catch him. He was so fast. He wasn't like big and strong and hard and imposing. He was fast. So all my assignments, they ran this 3-3-5, and I was playing tackle. And for some reason, our scheme, I didn't really block the defensive end very much. I had to go to the backer, which was almost always him. I just literally couldn't get to him. Like he would just run straight past me and do whatever. Let's see here. Did I think the Tennessee game helped us open up the pass game and quarterback play? I think what helped LSU is they have one of the best coaches in college football, and he recognizes weaknesses of the team, and he sees where you're struggling, and he adapts accordingly. And this is exactly what I was telling people coming into the season. Don't worry about how LSU looks early in the season. It's not what this is about. You didn't spend $100 million on Brian Kelly to beat Florida State on his first ever game. You want him to win every game, don't get me wrong, but you spent $100 million on him so he can build your program back to win championships. You don't care if LSU lost to Florida State week 1. You don't care, okay? When he has Walker Howard throwing 45 touchdowns behind 2 first-round offensive tackles to Shelton Sampson bombing it up and depth all over the field, and Harold Perkins is, lighting people's heads up as a third-year junior, that is why he came to LSU. I played against DJ Welter in high school. Yeah, he played for Notre Dame at Crowley. I think his team had 3 punt returns for a touchdown. We were very injured. Like I said, we only had 2 quarterbacks on our team that year, and they were both hurt. And we had to turn to Frank Bartley, who hadn't played any snaps at quarterback for that game. It was really ugly, but it was still cool getting to play against DJ. It was on TV. I got a bunch of shout outs on TV. I had to play defensive tackle too. I had to start both ways, and I had a really good game at defensive tackle, which I didn't have very many good games at defensive tackle. I was not very good at that. But I did that game get a bunch of shout outs. Let's see here. Oh, let's see here. All right, that's overstated. Saban said the players were fearing for their lives. What? Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, I get where he's coming from, and there is an argument that, okay, fans don't really belong on the field. I'll tell a little personal story. I got stormed on last time Ole Miss stormed the field, and I was with the team. Kendall Beckwith was pushed on top of me. And I'm telling you, when we're shoulder to shoulder like this, and we're trying to get to the locker room, we got, stuff to do, player interviews, that kind of stuff. It's very hot, very tired, very frustrating to work your way through that crowd. I can understand where the sense of, dude, you can't punt. You can't shove people. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's weak, Saban. That's at least suspend him for a nothing game. And by the way, if that was an LSU player, I would be saying the same thing. You shove someone on the field, you need to sit some time. That's not okay. That's not okay. I live in Rain and went to Notre Dame, so I was probably at the game. Rob Boudreaux, I'm gonna tell you this: Crowley, Louisiana, has the biggest freaking demon mosquitoes I've ever seen in my life, dude. I'm telling you, these suckers were the size of a quarter. They were eating me alive. And they put us in the gym pregame to change, the basketball court to change. And I don't know what it was. They got inside the gym, hundreds of them. It was terrible. Crowley is a rough place, man. That's my only time I've ever been to Crowley, and all I can remember is getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. If that was an LSU player, ESPN would have covered it. Saban has gone woke. It wasn't crowded. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, watch the video. It's not like he was trying, like it was an accident or in fear for his life. It was just being a jerk. Kind of like, God, who was the NFL player the other day who shoved the cameraman for no reason? He was frustrated. Was that, was that, I don't want to put a name in there that it wasn't. I'm just forgetting who it was. LSU will skull drag Florida State next year. That'll be fun. I am trying to convince Mike Scarborough. We try to take like one road trip a year, trying to make it worth it. I'm trying to push for that one. Orlando, that might be fun. Maybe I take little infant Guy if he decides to come. What if he actually decides to come? Maybe I bring him to that game. I should play golf at the course in Crowley. The mosquitoes will carry me away. I have been practicing my golf game a little bit here. Not good enough at it yet to really go out in public and do my thing, but I do enjoy it a lot. I got my own set of clubs and work on Devontae Adams. Thank you. That's one of those things. I don't want to say the wrong guy, but yeah, Devontae Adams, man, that was shady. Now his was probably more aggressive than Jermaine Burton, but I think what Jermaine Burton did was pretty inexcusable, if you ask me. He should at least sit a game. I mean, I don't even care. Like, sit him for a crap. I don't care. Like, whoever your cupcake you inevitably scheduled in a couple weeks is. Like I don't care. I feel so bad for A&M. Not. Yeah, I hope those boosters are ready to cut some checks, man. I mean, my goodness, they look awful. It'll be fun seeing LSU play them in a couple weeks. It will be fun. I'm going to thank Tramonte's one last time for making our show possible. Remember, guys, if y'all go out to Tramonte's, please mention TigerBait. It helps support our show. Say, yeah, TigerBait sent us in, especially if you're doing a catering order that's $200 or more, you get a $25 gift card for mentioning the show. They're located at Jefferson and Airline, just behind Parkview Baptist. And they got 30 kinds of meat and sausage, and they have the lunch deli rolling where you can get all sorts of good stuff like their burgers or stuff made for you if you're just looking to grab lunch. Let's hear from them, and I'll be right back.
Tramonte's has meat. Tramonte's has seafood. Tramonte's has much more. Tailgating and homegating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tramontes.com.
And thank you, Tramonte's, for making our show possible for the last couple years. Have I talked to Blake? How's his new baby? Is it a boy or girl? I do know the gender. I'm not going to say anything because I've been sworn to secrecy till he can make his own announcement. I will have a funny story about that later, but I'm not going to steal his thunder. Very happy for Blake. Everybody's healthy. Megan's fine. Blake's fine. They are very happy. It is a beautiful baby that I saw. Yeah, very excited for him, man. For a second there, it looks like we were going to have our babies on the same day, but Blake had to one-up me and win the race. Three Aggie freshmen suspended. Yeah, I saw that. We'll see. Maybe that class, maybe that number one recruiting class isn't going to pan out after all. We'll just see about what happens to them. Might want to make some transfer portal spots open up LSU. I'll be in Orlando. As I say, that's one of the coolest trips you could do, right? I mean, take the kids to Disney World and go watch a game. LSU should be good next year. I think if Jaden Daniels stays or goes, LSU will be good because Walker Howard will be pretty good next year. It'll be interesting. Jaden Daniels, man. His draft profile is just so interesting, man. He keeps on playing the way he's going to play, though. There's just no way. He's on track for 3,500 yards and 34 touchdowns. I mean, and the plan was to go pro after this year, and what? I mean, if you're going to go ball out, put up 3,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, and then not go pro, what was the point? All right, guys, I appreciate y'all for watching the show tonight. Appreciate Dead Soxy, Celebrity Theaters, and Tramonte's for making this possible. Thank y'all for joining me on a very interesting evening as we stayed up all last night. Thought we were going to have a baby. We didn't. And we did, we came back to it. I assume you'll be at the Bama game, Preston. We don't really, we have to be there like 3 or 4 hours early. Sometimes I pop into people, we do a lot of work. We are there really early. If this baby don't come here soon, Preston ain't going to be at the Bama game. This baby needs to come on. And so anyways, just wanted to address that. Appreciate y'all. No post-game show this week because there's no game this week. Next week I should be able to be back by Tuesday. If this baby's here, if he's really dragging, you never know. By Monday at the latest, we know he will be here. So we'll see it. Get used to not sleeping. See, I've even struggled to close out this show here because I'm just delirious at this point. But I really did enjoy coming and doing this show with y'all. Thank y'all for all y'all support. Please like, comment, subscribe. We hit 15,000 subscriptions this week. Mike and Buddy will be live tomorrow, so just another great reason to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell for all the upcoming LSU content. I appreciate y'all's support. Y'all have a great evening.